I finally finished the book.
Why they're up so high?
Okay, y'all. I have finished I Have Never Known Men. I finally finished the book. And wow. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. This is going to be a little bit like spoiler. Not even a little bit. We're going into spoiler territory because this is the reading vlog, okay? You have been warned. Vocally, and I will also put a visual indicator that we're going to be talking about spoilers a little bit if you do not mind. I'll be quick though because I have to go to work, so I'm kind of in a rush. But I just kind of wanted to vent. That was crazy. I read the last page, and in a way I had a feeling that our main character was going to end up the way she did, lived out her life and then pass away. I don't know sure if I would say peacefully, but in her version of peacefully, the way that how she wanted to pass away, right? I was just kind of like really curious why she didn't name herself. Like, you know, like if you didn't have a name, why wouldn't you name yourself? She was called the child. I don't know why that bothered me. Not bothered me, but I was just like, oh, because I was writing notes. I was like, I keep calling you main character, even though everyone that she was around with all 39 women, excluding herself, called her the child. So that was her name for the longest time, which was fine. And I guess she didn't really, at the end of the day, now that I'm saying it out loud, she didn't really even need one because she didn't have anyone to talk to or conversate and all this stuff that you would need a name for to identify yourself among a group of people, which there were no group of people. It was just so curious. You really, like, they had a theory that they weren't even on Earth, and at first I didn't believe. I was like, nah, y'all, Earth is huge, okay? Earth is a pretty big place. You could be walking for a long time. No, like, when you say you've been walking for 20 plus years and settling, like, amongst that time, and you've still been walking and you haven't seen a single soul and the weather hasn't changed, you're no longer in California, okay? I made a joke. I'm not sure if I even showed it, but there is a quote here. Let me see. Oh, yeah. I'll read it out loud because we are in spoiler territory, okay? She said that on Earth, we'd have noticed the changing of seasons. But here, over several months, the days had barely become shorter and the weather was not noticeably cooler. There have been snowstorms or heat waves, not this unchanging weather. And then in my notes, I said, sounds like California. Yeah, it sounds like us. But then, you know, that was like in the middle of the book. By the end of the book, as she like kind of reconfirms, like, yeah, no, this place is still the same that she's been traveling in. I'm like, damn, maybe she's not on Earth. But there were so many other questions of like what was going on with the soldiers, or I called them soldiers, but the soldiers in the gas mask that passed away or like died in the bus without any notice. It was just so many questionable things. And I know by the end of us reading this book, that wasn't the point. I think she built a world that made it feel super alien, that made it feel very questionable why, to know how our main character is feeling, because this is her diary, this is her note to leave for whoever finds it. So it's kind of cool. It's that relationship between you and the author or the writer of the book, right? I guess the author, but I'm thinking about our main character. Like, to me, this is our main character's diary. But like, we're like the future civilization that picked it up and gets to read like what she's experienced. So of course she's gonna be like not know what truly happened, and we won't know what truly happened either. But again, I think that was besides the point. If you're like me, that it takes a while for something with more, I don't know if I would say heavier themes, but something that you really need to think about what you've read and it's like kind of unclear to you. Definitely if you're like a plot person like myself. I mean, I like plot and character and like deep themes, but once I realized very clearly, probably even more than halfway throughout the book, that the question of why are we in this position in the first place? Why are we stranded? Or why are there bunkers with humans in it left to themselves, and why did you take care of us for so long? For what reason? We couldn't even interact with each other. We were separated by gender. All this stuff, right? And then the sirens go off, and then the guards, the people who are working, leave and dip, and you never see them ever again. And she says it super early on too. When I was kind of talking about earlier, in this video that the author likes to insert herself when she talks about something, saying like, oh, by the way, we never saw them, right? That was one of those indicators. She was like, yeah, I don't know why the women were so scared of the guards coming back, because at the end of the day, they never did. She would literally say something like that. And I was like, oh, take it for what it is, right? Like, either you believe her or not, or you as the reader is like, no, there's hope. Like, by the end of her writing this book, there might have been something that changed, you know, like she wrote this earlier on. Who knows, right? I don't know. I had hope. But if you're like heavy on the plot and you just want to know what happened, it's not really, this book is not gonna give you that. I truly believe it's not the point. It's just there for a setting to give of another purpose. Luckily, though, at the end of the book, if you are still questioning like, okay, like what did I read, they do have a section in the back called afterwards. I'm not sure if all books have this, I don't know, but this, if you read the afterwards, she definitely goes more into depth of what she's trying to say in the book. If anything, honestly, even more straightforward for me. I even highlighted a part. This is spoiler territory. I feel so bad, but what I'm trying to say about the point of the book, or not even the point, but what you can take out of it, if not like the answer to the question, what the hell is going on? How'd you get to that position? Because you're not going to get that answer. But she says something like, our main character is a pure experiment asking, what does a person become when stripped to the core, raised in isolation? What might a woman be like under these conditions? And so forth, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it was a pretty good read. This whole time, I think I even screamed, like, in one of my note-taking, screaming as, like, a hella explanation point, saying, like, what? Like, you're telling me we're not gonna know the answer? But overall, it is one of those things you sit down and think about, and truly, like, think about type book. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't know how I would shorten this up in a summary without saying spoilers, but yeah, let me know if you've gotten this far. And for those who've read it, if you're watching this part of the video, I'm assuming you've read it or you have no interest in reading it, and that's why you're watching me talk about it. But yeah, I wonder how you felt. I don't want comments about it because I don't want any like spoilers in the comments for those who haven't read it, but I'm just very curious. I wonder if you had the same experiences as me of just like kind of settling with the fact that we're not gonna know what really happened. Like, are they on an alien planet? Are they on Earth? Okay, well, I felt like I talked about this for too long, but it was a fun read. It was an interesting read. It was super sad read, you know, like there's clearly a lot of death happens in this book, and so it's very interesting how we follow our main character and her thoughts about death and the act of killing, all sorts of things, you know, crazy when you strip away everything from what all the other women knew, since she grew up in a cage. Essentially, she doesn't know what the woman experienced. She's the youngest out of everyone. But yeah, it was fun. Okay, I go to work now. I'll see you later. On to the next book. I think I'm going to start A Song of Lost Legends. I think that was the title. I'm really excited to start that one. It's time to go into an epic fantasy. I think it's epic fantasy, but I'm excited to go into a new world. Stay away from, I've been reading dystopian back to back, giving me like Tender is the Flesh kind of vibes. Not this book specifically, but you know, dystopian to dystopian. And so it's like, okay, it's time to go to another type of world and vibe. But yeah, I was gonna read the one by Banana Yoshimoto. I think that's the last name. Sorry if I butcher it, but that one is actually really sad, and so I'm assuming it's going to be very sad and deep themes. So I'm staying away from that one until I raise my my level of happiness, and then we get back there. But yeah, okay. Bye. Isn't it so pretty? Besides, your love life remains unmatchedly messy. First it's Golden Boy, then it's Grumpy Wizard, and now it's back to Golden Boy. But instead of a normal happy reunion, you accidentally brawl to the basement. Girl. Messy. Oh my gosh, I love Mariah. She's so funny. You're gonna show me the first one, right?
You see one right there?
Are we gonna go close to it? Let's go up close. My favorite part, babe. Because it's a library. Why they're up so high? Are we gonna knock on it? It says welcome fairies. I don't think the fairies are gonna open up, huh? Hello, hello. I see another house right over here. Are we knocking on it?